Hi friends, welcome to Law Chat with Girija. This is your legal BFF, Girija Patel. Thank you for tuning in. I am so grateful for every single one of you for tuning in and listening, because this is what Law Chat is about. It's a place for you to be inspired, a place for you to gain some more wisdom and knowledge about your industry, but a place also where you can receive mentorship through storytelling. Thank you so much. Now, I know that before we walk into this next episode, whether you're tuning in through your iTunes or through other form of a podcast, or whether this is on YouTube, I would love for you to share this information with someone else, somebody who is your friend, your family, a colleague, somebody in your community, someone who can really be inspired by this as well and benefit from the information and from the stories that we're sharing with you today. Law Chat is to help the community, is to boost the community, is to inspire the community. And I want you to help me to do that. So thank you so much for that. Let's get started. Welcome to Law Chat. I have the TikTok guru with us today with over 60,000 followers. And you can absolutely correct me on this because I think the number has probably changed since like the last time we talked about this too. Nicole Gradeless shares her amazing Amazon finds on her Instagram account, TikTok account, and other accounts as the Hello Happy Mom. I personally look forward to every single post she's about to put out there because she truly finds the latest and greatest, cutest finds of Amazon. But more than anything, she's a business consultant where she can actually help you and teach you on how to monetize your social media, but then how to become an influencer marketer the way she's become one. And she's also a content creator. She's a content strategist. She's a wife and a mom, just 3 sweet kids as well. And she is crushing it on TikTok and other social media platforms. I am so happy to have you here with us today, Nicole. Honestly, I get so inspired by your Instagram account. I love them. And it's just so cool to have you. So welcome to Law Chat.
Thank you so much for having me. And I will correct you. I'm at a little over 500,000 followers on TikTok. So
I'm so kidding on that now. It's like, wow, that's amazing. I feel like maybe, I don't remember the last time we talked. This is months ago. And that's amazing. Over 500,000 followers.
Yeah. And what's cool is over on Instagram, I've been on that platform for a while, and I'll talk about my journey too in just a sec, but I grew that account from 4,000 to over 115,000 followers in like the last 18 months. So
incredible.
I'm excited to share today.
Yes,
Thanks for having me.
I think all of us want to know the secret sauce, if there is one, but truly just how do you do it? But more than that, before we get into the details of all of that information, I want to know how you got into this. Where did it start for you?
Yeah, my social media journey actually started a long time ago over on YouTube. And it was because I was the first mom in my friends group. So I had my baby before everybody else. And then once they started having kids, everyone would ask me for help. They'd say, like, how do you get your baby to sleep at night? What are his favorite foods? Like, what are some awesome baby toys? What bag are you using? And so that kind of started I was like, you know what? If my friends are asking these questions, I'm sure people on the internet are. And so I sat down and I made a video about like, here are my favorite things for my newborn. And I just kind of started my little YouTube channel. I had never been on camera before. Never in my wildest dreams did I think I'd be sitting here or on any camera anywhere. I've always been, I don't know, more on like the shyer side. Like I've never been a video person. So that's kind of where my journey started. And what my heart for moms is really kind of what's driven me through everything. And that's kind of where I started. And then when Instagram came out, I said, I guess I'll create an Instagram account to go with my YouTube account, and just started sharing my day-to-day like motherhood journey and things like that on stories. Where my accounts really kind of took off is right at the beginning of 2020, before we all got to hang out in quarantine for a few years. I saw TikTok and I got on, and I'm sure just like many people, I was hit in the face with like dancing teenagers. Yes. And I was like, whoa, what is this? What am I doing here? No, it feels weird. What is happening? But I said, you know what? I'm going to share my kids' favorite. They're like little stepping stones. It was like a little activity. I'm just going to randomly share this. It makes no sense, but this is my niche. And that's something that I tell creators all the time is stay within your niche when you're getting started, start small. And so I posted the video. it went viral, and I was just like shocked. Like it was one of those things where I was like, what? So I posted again, and that one did well. And I was like, I'm gonna start posting 2 times a day. I'm just gonna post like crazy. I'm just sitting at home with my kids. We're homeschooling. Like I'm just videoing stuff around the house, like I'm just gonna do everything I've been sharing over the past like 5 years since I've started. I'm just gonna go back and reshare all that and film it in short form video. And it wasn't perfect. And I just got started with, it's just my cell phone. There's nothing fancy happening. And the account grew and it kept growing. And I realized quickly that, and people had been saying this forever, but I didn't have the time to commit to it. It's just, I had to be consistent. So I was just posting twice a day for like a year. And my account grew it grew insane quickly. And so then you see that I wasn't the only one noticing that TikTok had over 1 billion active users at the end of last year. 1 billion people were on TikTok. So naturally, the progression is you see big businesses are like, I'm going where the eyeballs are. So TikTok has transformed now into, I don't know if you've seen this as well, but like, this is a place where there's doctors on there, there's cooks, there's people sharing, they're staying within their niche, and they're sharing all this helpful information in a short form video. And it's transformed into something that everyone's taking note of. TikTok obviously set the trend, and then Instagram has short form video, Pinterest does, YouTube does, Facebook does. It's everywhere. And so anyway, that's kind of the quick version of how I got started and where I'm at now.
That's awesome. It sounds what you're saying just to the person, they're like, oh, we just need to create videos, but there's more to that. And, the fact of even posting 2 videos a day, that takes time. Editing takes time too. And so approximately how much time do you take like when you're creating one video?
Yeah. So I don't think it's a secret per se, but my biggest tip is I would batch film everything. I have 3 kids. So I was homeschooling them during the day. There was no way I could, while I'm teaching them and doing all the things, also film. So my husband was like, hey, I'll hang out with them for a couple of hours and just leave the house. And so I would film for the entire week. I still do that to this day because it just feels so good to know that you have everything already done for you. You know what I mean? So it's like, and now, I want to get into the weeds. We can do it later, but like, there are even scheduling tools for all these apps for TikTok and for Reels now, which I didn't have before. Yeah. So I batch film on one day, edit and everything, and then I'm set for like the week. So I don't have to worry about that. And I can spend the week being more productive, looking for more cool stuff to share or tips or mom hacks and things like that.
Yeah. Wow. And then when you first started, did you at any point in time, I know it's hard to get on video. So did you have hesitations before you got on the video?
Yeah. I have to be honest with you. I was terrified of TikTok because it was a bunch of little children and they were mean. Like the comments on TikTok, the comments I would get on TikTok are so mean. So to this day, even with my account where it's at now, I've only put my face on camera like a handful of times. Like you normally just see the product. You don't even see me. You just hear my voice. And it's because I was scared that like, I don't know, I don't want people tearing me down. I wasn't prepared. And I did hit a really rough patch. We can talk about that if it would help someone about like dealing with hate and things on the internet. But so yeah, I was definitely, yes. And I still, to this day, I'm kind of like, oh, it's okay.
Let's talk a little bit more about that because, I feel like when we talk about our journey, a lot of times we glaze over the hard stuff. And so I do want to talk about that rough patch, if you don't mind, and talk about, because it is scary. It is scary to be vulnerable. It is scary to put a video, whether it's your hands or whether it's a product you're sharing, whether it's your face or your family. It's scary for the comments to come. And, how do you handle that? So what was that rough patch and how did you handle it?
Yeah. So I really consider it a learning experience. I was trying different things, and we can talk about like the structure of short form video and how it works best. So I was trying a different hook, and this one, my husband had a case that locked with a combination, and I thought it would be funny to say like, take your kid's iPad and lock it in here to like trick them or something. It was something along those lines. Well, people took that seriously. Like they thought I was being serious, like I was really trying to torture my children. And a big creator with like millions of followers picked up my video and made it like on TikTok, you can duet videos or you can split screen, and there's all these different things. But she put my video as her green screen behind her, and she was just talking garbage about me. And she had millions of followers. And so, so at the very end, she was like, she does share some cool stuff. And I'm like, I had never in my life felt like everything is virtual now. I've been dealing with my feelings in person with people for my whole life, but like to have a virtual thing that I can't see, like I can't touch, physically impact me the way that it did. I had thousands of people trying to like destroy me, like tear me down. People were trying to hack into my TikTok account and delete it. Like it was absolutely insane. And so, I mean, I've always said like, oh, just turn off your phone. You know, you hear celebrities complain about like, oh my gosh, I'm, struggling with this. And I'm like, just turn your phone off. No, that does not fix it it didn't fix it for me. I was like, oh my gosh, what am I like? This is horrible. People are saying the nastiest, most horrible things in the whole world. And my husband was like, delete the video. Let's just move on. Like, delete it. You can block that girl that made the video with like, she had 3 million followers at the time. I was like, so I delete the video. I kind of wait. I see there's a couple comments like on other videos of mine, but not a ton. And so I was like, you know what? I'm just going to refocus and just remember that like I get my self-worth from God. I don't get it from random strangers on the internet, and I'm going to move on. And so it was a really rough few days though, of just really trying to focus on not reading the comments, which is hard to do, and then not letting those people have control over how I feel. It was definitely a learning experience for sure.
My goodness, and in the most loving way, you're not the only one that's gone through it. And I'm so glad you shared it, because there's so many other people that have probably gone through that same journey, and they've actually maybe shied away from doing anything on their business platform then. Because then you're just like, wow, strangers can be so mean. And it's, as a lawyer, it just makes me wonder on so many different levels. First of all, TikTok's privacy policy, TikTok's terms and conditions, the ability for others to just take your video and put so much hate onto it, or defame it, and not maybe in a legal way, but in general. So that's really tough. And I think deleting the video was probably the best choice at that time. I'm sure there's people who want to, I mean, even in my mind, I'm like, well, what if you took her video and then talked about it? Like the same video that she used for you, take it back and be like, listen, let me just tell you. I don't know. Is that a thing?
I try every day to have the self-control to not like fight every single fight. And I'm telling you, I think if I had done that, it may have made me feel better temporarily, but it probably would have just kept the firestorm going, because people would have still disagreed with me. I did have people, voices of positivity in her comment section, saying it was a joke. It was a joke. She was joking. And I was like, lesson learned. I'm not ever doing that again.
Or literally put a disclaimer on the top saying, this is a joke, by the way. I mean, goodness, that is so funny. No, but thank you for sharing that. And because
of course,
that vulnerability is a big thing. And a lot of times people are hesitant to go onto video because they're scared. They're scared of, and I know that was the situation with me. I was scared. I'm like, oh my gosh, what are they going to think? I need to have a script. And I'm like, but your stuff. You don't need a script.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. And maybe it's just like our generation. We didn't grow up with video phones, like I don't want to sound like an old dinosaur, but like I remember when the internet was created. So like I grew up not with, I didn't grow up in this world. So kids these days now definitely sound like an old person now, but children growing up now, they grow up with video in their hands. My son's friends only call him on FaceTime.
Yeah, that's when we talk FaceTime, which is okay. At least they're having a conversation. But
yeah,
I don't think you're a dinosaur at all, because FYI, you were crushing it on, just a reminder, you're crushing it on TikTok. You know how to use social media today. You are absolutely amazing.
I hate to interrupt this awesome conversation, but I have to stop and talk with you about the number one thing I'm asked about by entrepreneurs: contracts. They're vital to any business relationship and to protect your business. But I also know that entrepreneurs, especially when you're starting up, money is tight. But I would never want you to compromise on a strong legal foundation. So enter yourcontractbuddy.com, a website created by me with contract templates created and drafted by me and fellow industry partners. They're ready to use and easy to plug in immediately. And they are not restricted to any specific state. So yourcontractbuddy.com is sponsoring this episode, and you and your listener can get 10% off right now with code LAWCHAT. Yes, you heard me right. 10% off right now with code LAWCHAT. And now, back to our awesome conversation.
So moving a little bit forward on that, tell us a little bit about the videos that you did put out there. What's your secret sauce? Like, is there a certain form that you use for your videos? What is it that you do in order for the videos to be seen and to be shared?
Yeah. So it is interesting with short form video, the most successful videos are under 15 seconds. And people are like, what? Like, how do you do anything in 15 seconds? That seems like so quick. But once you get started with it and you just play around with it, I just jumped in and just tried and I learned from there. But I always say that a good framework for any successful short form video is one that teaches you something, one that sells you something, or one that entertains you in some way. So all of my videos sell you something, right? I'm just talking about how cool this little product is. There's doctors, lawyers. I mean, some of the favorite people I follow, Girija, are these husband and wife lawyers. They graduated from Harvard. I love them. They just give their opinion on like different cases going on right now. And so they're educating people, right? And so, and then of course the entertaining people are what? Like the dancers, the people who are doing cool stuff. And so I try to stay within one of those three categories. And under 15 seconds, your hook is probably your most important thing because that's the first thing that people hear. And if they're listening without sound on, you should always have a title on every video so people know, they can see right away like what your video is going to be about. I think starting there is a great starting point. So like for you, it could be like 3 things about an LLC that you need to know. Boom, I'd watch that. I have an LLC, you know, and then you just list off like 3 things that are helpful. And that's kind of how I would get started, or the kind of the framework I have followed.
Nice. And then the hook, how do you figure out a hook? Where do you even go to know this is a good hook? This is a very bad hook.
I just experiment. I threw spaghetti against the wall. I tried all kinds of things. And most of my hooks are pretty similar, but for like my mom hacks, they'll be different. I consult for businesses. And so I help them. And one of the companies I consulted for was a little first aid kit company. And it was, I just kind of brainstormed and thought like, what would work best? What would I as a consumer want to know about this brand if I was going to purchase from them? And so just kind of come from a curious place like that, and then experiment. It's free. You know what I mean? Just try and see what works. And maybe out of 5 videos you post, 1 will do really well. And you're like, okay, what about that video was good? Like, what did people resonate with? And then do more of that.
Nice. And then you have a niche in your videos. It's, you know, moms, but more than moms, it's just parenting, like, you know, tips. But then through that, you're also going through Amazon and, you know, sharing some amazing Amazon finds. I'm like, I don't know how my life was without it. Like, how was I surviving without this little gadget? But how did you do that? How did you figure out, okay, I'm going to do Amazon? I'm not, you know, like how, and not just some random stuff.
Yeah. So it actually started with early on when I joined Instagram. I made it a point to find small businesses or cool products for kids that people just didn't know about. Like, it's always just been what I've done, because as a mom, I'm always looking for something neat, something cool, you know, just something different. And I learned very on by watching someone's YouTube video that I could join this program called Amazon Associates and monetize it. And I was like, so I joined years ago. I got rejected the first time and I grew a little bit And now I think it's a little bit easier to join. But once I got in, I was like, anytime I share a product now, I'm going to link it and earn commission for every product. And so on TikTok, I was like, I'm only sharing products. I'm just going to link my Amazon store in my bio and just see what happens. And when a video went viral, I would earn tons of money. And I was like, oh my gosh, I did not think there was any chance on the planet that people would actually go from my video to my profile, click a link, click again, click to cart and buy. That's a lot of steps.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so once I knew that was the case, I was like, I'm leaning in. And if it works here, it's probably going to work on Instagram, which it has, and it's going to work other places too. So, yeah. I mean, if you're doing something you love, then figure out a way to monetize it and make it your job, and you'll never be unhappy doing something you like to do.
That's amazing. So that's something, one of the things that you also teach as a coach is to monetize your social media platforms. And so Amazon is one way to do that. And what is it called? Amazon Associates?
Yeah, the Amazon Associates program, and there's an Amazon influencer program that I think is similar. But you can create a storefront and then just like link all of your favorite stuff there, and then share the link to your storefront with your audience.
That's amazing. And then what are some qualifications to even be an associate or an influencer?
You have to have an established relationship online. So I don't know exactly what the specifics are now. They changed recently. But when I joined, you had to have either a blog or a social platform with an established following. So they knew that you weren't just trying to like, do something shady. But it's free and easy to look at it.
Before we go into how to monetize your social media platforms, I really just want to kind of go back a little bit and ask you, somebody who is starting a TikTok account right now as they're listening and they're like so inspired. And what are some of your top like 3 tips for them when they're starting off their TikTok, or even somebody who's just kind of beginning and they're, in the smaller growth?
I would say not even TikTok. I'd say Instagram. If you feel more comfortable there, start there. Start where you're comfortable. And I think if you're intimidated by the tools, which is normally what people say, they like open the app and they're like, what is all of this? Like, oh my gosh, I don't understand how to do this. Download this free app. It's called CapCut, and it's an editing software. It's free. It's easy to use, and it'll just film your video with your cell phone, like outside of the app. You have the raw file, so you can post it everywhere, once you have that, and just use like an external app to edit at first. If you feel intimidated with like the in-app tools, which is typically what I hear, but I would just get started. I would film like a handful of videos and use these tips, right? Create a good hook, make a little cover image or a cover, like 3 LLC tips or whatever. Keep going back to that. And just start uploading. You just have to get started. If you overthink it and you do all the planning and all the thinking and all the doubting yourself, just throw it out there. Like just throw it out there and get started. And you learn from what you're posting, So that's what I would do.
Yeah, I think just getting started and then creating batch videos, like you were saying, having a good hook, and just doing it. Like, I think that's the biggest thing, is just the first one, getting that first one out there.
Yeah.
Then you can kind of grow from
it.
What
if that first video tanks, don't be like, oh gosh, I'm not doing this again. No, persevere, just keep going, because something will eventually do well.
Yeah. And that's a big thing. Like going back to what you were saying earlier, being consistent, showing up, even though nobody else might be looking, or you feel like nobody is looking or watching. I think that is key. If this is something that you want to do and you feel like this is the right way to go, keep showing up. And eventually that following will be there. Eventually your things will become more viral than what they have been. And having a consistent time schedule. And what are some of the tools that you use? I know you're saying CapCut, which, funny enough, my daughter uses that to create her videos. And then
nice.
I know, it's so cool. And then what other tools do you use?
I would say, honestly, I use CapCut, and then I use the in-app tools for the cover photos, because I like those to be native to the platform, because I feel like the platform is like thank you for using our stuff. Yes, we may favor you. Maybe I'm wrong, but
There was a
I'm
thing
like,
that Instagram did that though, I think. Like if you use their stickers and stuff like that.
oh yeah, oh yeah, the stickers, especially like in your stories and things. Yeah. So yeah, just keep it simple. CapCut, I use Instagram. WordSwag is a free app that is good for anything graphic, like words. It's like they do different types of fonts and different things. But like I said, I do that mostly on the platform just to make it easier and make it make sense over there. But
And then you have a
yeah,
scheduler you were talking about earlier too.
you can schedule. So later.com is a scheduling tool that you can use for reels, you can use for all of that stuff. Facebook, you can actually schedule just directly on Facebook now. So that's kind of cool. You don't need like an external thing. You can pre-schedule stuff over there. But later is a good one for scheduling out.
Even for TikTok?
I believe they just introduced that. Yeah.
With later. Do you use Planoly by any chance?
I don't. I feel like I may have looked into that a long time ago.
Yeah, I use Planoly, but then now, there's somebody like who does on my team. So I'm kind of like, I don't know what I use anymore. But but I wonder for TikTok if there's a scheduler. I know for Pinterest, I think Planoly does it for Pinterest.
Well, the one I'm using right now exclusively, I have a VA that helps out with Facebook and different things because I'm posting the videos like everywhere. Is there's an app or a platform called repurpose.io.
Okay.
And it fetches your content from whatever platform. If you want to fetch your content from TikTok or Instagram, wherever, and then you can post it on YouTube with like a click of a button.
Oh, wow.
So that is super helpful. And you can schedule through that too. And that has been awesome. Like really just game changing.
Golden nuggets of wisdom. I love it. Okay. Awesome. Awesome. Now shifting our focus back to how do we monetize our platforms? How do we make money off of them?
Here is the cool thing right now. Everyone wants you to use short form video. And I was reading a Forbes article that came out at the beginning of the year saying that short form video has the highest ROI. So of any video. So if that's true, companies are going to want to use short form video, right? And Instagram's pushing it. So what's cool is once you start creating on these platforms, Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, and TikTok, they all have creator programs that pay you. So like Instagram has a Reels bonus program. You can opt in and they will pay you cash for creating Reels. Like what? And same goes for Facebook. Over on Pinterest, I made thousands of dollars off Pinterest, and I had never used Pinterest before, but I was uploading my idea pins over there and they were paying me to upload my videos there. I'm like, what? So
Nicole, you have the Midas touch. I'm just gonna say that.
No, I'm a hustler. I'm always looking for like what's new, what's available, what can we participate in, and how can we make money for doing things that we like to do. So use the creator tools in app where you're at. So if you're on Instagram, start uploading and then look out for the Reels bonus program on both Instagram and Facebook. Pinterest has the creator one.
Yeah.
YouTube, I'm in a creator program for YouTube. They're everywhere because everyone wants you to use it. So now seriously is the time. Like if you've been thinking about it, jump in and get started right now. And it's not too late.
I have a couple of questions though. So number one is a lot of times people may not want to do it because they feel like they don't have a big enough following. So do you need to have like 500,000 or can you just do it with 1,000 people following also? And then my second question is for if you have a creator account or a creator, sometimes you're a business and then I have a business account, will that bar me from doing things with a creator aspect or does that give me limitations? So, things like that,
It does.
And then how do you circumvent all of that?
Yeah. If you are a business profile, I would not think that you would have access to the creator fund or the creator bonus programs because you're a business and your income is going to come from people buying your product rather than the actual platform. So as a creator, if you want to make money, use the tools. As a business, if you want to make money, use short form video to market your product. And that's going to be the most effective way. Yeah, I made a modest income off YouTube, Amazon affiliate links with a very small following, very small. And also on Instagram, TikTok, really any of these short form platforms, you don't have to have a following for your video to do well. My YouTube account last a couple days ago, actually, I have less than 10,000 followers, subscribers on YouTube. And one of my videos reached like over 50,000 people. Like, what, where did, why? Right? We don't know. So that's why I'm like, how did that happen? But it happens. And you see that all the time on TikTok and Instagram. People upload a reel or a TikTok video and it goes viral and they're like, whoa, I didn't expect anyone to see this because I have a small audience. So don't doubt yourself, believe in yourself, believe that like, if I share, I have the opportunity to grow. And by growing, people are going to purchase. And yeah, you just have to get started to see. That's kind of the exciting thing right now because people love the platforms love short form video. They're prioritizing it. So
Mhm. Yeah, I think, getting to the monetization, that the step in between that is between the starting and getting to the monetization is the growth part of it. And that can be
yeah.
frustrating at times.
Mm-hmm.
And, even if sometimes people have had their accounts for many years and they're still pretty stagnant on the growth. And if there
Mm-hmm.
is somebody out there who is stagnant, do you have any like tips on how to grow or things that they could shift around to maybe make that spark of growth happen?
Yeah, I mean, my Instagram profile, my folks who've been following me for a long time, they know that I was just like hanging out at 3,000. I remember when I hit 3,500 followers, I was like, yes, so excited. And I treated those people the same way I treat my audience now. I just feel like they're the most important people to me. If someone messages me, I try to respond right away. But I had a small following and all I did was try what was new. So it always scares us to do new things. It always makes us apprehensive. But when I saw Instagram say, hey, we have this new sparkly new toy here, it's called Reels, I was like, I'm on it. Like, I'm going to try it. And that's what just exploded my growth over there. And it was because I tried the new product and I was just consistent with it. And that has been that. I mean, that's not even a secret, but that's been what's happened for me is trying the new item, the new feature, and just being consistent. And that's been like the secret sauce. So don't be discouraged if you're in a small place. Just get out there get out there and start posting and just see how it goes. And then hire me if you need help.
Absolutely. I mean, you are like a box of information, like a Pandora box of all information and such great tips, such tangible tips. Honestly, after just this conversation, I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna have to reevaluate my entire videos. And I have tons of content. I'm like, what are we doing? Why is this not like,
Yeah.
But yeah, no, truly, you have amazing tips. And I'm gonna be linking all of your, links and the way to like connect with you on the show notes as well. And if, the listeners out there, if they want to find you and they want to say hi to you, how do they do that?
Yeah. I'm on all platforms as hello_happy_mom. And you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, everywhere there. So yeah, come find me, say hello. And if you're struggling and you're trying your best and you need some help, I offer the consultation calls where we just sit down and we go specifically through your account and we see where your problem spots are, how I can help. And I do the same for small business too. So businesses that are looking to get out there.
That's fantastic. I think sometimes,
Yeah.
Having somebody next to you who is up to date with everything happening in the social media world and, the influencer marketing world is super, super helpful. Before we say bye, though, I have a couple of questions that I always love to ask. Number one, what is your anchor? What holds you steady?
My faith is my number one thing. Every single day, I pray for the day. I try to instill it in my children, and it's absolutely what keeps me going, especially when times are tough or challenging.
I'm just going to kind of highlight what you said earlier when you had a lot of that hate video and then, just like that really rough time on social media. And I love how you just said that I know my worth does not come from other people's opinions. and your
Mhm.
worth comes from God, or
Yeah.
higher than you. And I think that was so brilliant, because sometimes we vest so much of our worth and our value on what others think and whether we are an authority or not in someone's eyes. And
Mhm.
that's not what made you be who you are today. And so
Right.
thank you for sharing that earlier. And
Mhm.
then what is a latest book that you are loving, or a
Mhm.
Netflix show, or any other shows that you're streaming right now?
Yeah. I just started Atomic Habits, and I feel like it's going to change my life.
I
Um,
started it too. It's good stuff.
yeah, it is. It is. It's been really, really good. So I'd say Atomic Habits. I have my master's degree in leadership, so I'm kind of like a leadership book junkie. I love John Maxwell and anything that just talks about how to connect with people. I think it translates well to my job here at social media. So yeah,
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Nicole, for being with
of
us
course.
today, sharing all of your wisdom about TikTok, social media, and monetization. Loved it. Thank you.
Oh, thanks so much for having me. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much for tuning in to this week's episode of Law Chat. I hope this was super beneficial to you. I really enjoyed sharing this information with you today. And I have to ask you for a favor. Like I did in the beginning, I'm going to ask you again. Please share this with your community, whether it's a friend, family, or another colleague, or someone else on your Facebook or Instagram or other social media spot. Share this, subscribe, and stay tuned for other episodes coming in so you are always up to date. But then also take another moment and share this episode with your community, because when you share it with everybody else, not only are they benefiting, but also the information that I'm sharing is reaching out to more people, because at the end of the day, we want to rise together with our community, and I can only do that with your help. Now, I am so grateful for you. I'm so grateful that you tuned in, and I want to hear from you as well. So shoot me a DM on Instagram at GBP Law or at Law Chat with Girija. I would love to hear from you. I would love to also hear what other episodes that you would like to hear about, topics that you want to hear about, and also just connect with you. And thank you so much for tuning in. Until next time, cheers.